Real Madrid didn't collapse overnight. That's the lie people tell themselves, because the truth is harder to accept. This started long before the defeats, long before the arguments, long before a player told his own teammate to stay quiet in the middle of a match. And if you look closely, that moment wasn't shocking. It was inevitable, because when a team loses structure, when leadership disappears, when power shifts away from the system, something replaces it: ego. And once ego takes control, trophies disappear quietly. Not instantly, not dramatically, just slowly, season by season, excuse by excuse. And the scariest part? Everyone inside the club can see it. They just can't stop it. It's a small moment at first, easy to miss if you're only watching the ball. Jude Bellingham asks for it urgent, demanding, trying to force control into a game slipping away. And instead of a response built on trust, he's shut down. Not ignored, silenced. That's not frustration. That's a broken hierarchy. Because in elite teams, players challenge each other. They demand more. They push, but they don't silence. Imagine Toni Kroos asking for the ball from Cristiano Ronaldo, and Ronaldo telling him to be quiet. It doesn't happen. Not because Ronaldo didn't have ego, but because the system was bigger than his ego. That's the difference. That's what's gone. And someone inside Real Madrid understood exactly where this was heading. Xabi Alonso didn't walk into the club blind. He knew how it worked. He knew who held power. He knew which players were untouchable. And still, he tried to change it. That's what makes what happened next so predictable and so inevitable. Because Alonso didn't fail because his ideas were wrong. He failed because his ideas demanded something the dressing room refused to give: discipline. His system wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't even complicated. It was simple enough to expose everything. Everyone runs. Everyone defends. Everyone sacrifices. No exceptions. Not even the biggest names in world football. And that's where the resistance began. Because modern football has changed. Players aren't just stars anymore. They're brands. They're protected. And at Real Madrid, they're powerful. So when Alonso looked at a team built around players like Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Junior and asked them to track back, he wasn't making a tactical demand. He was challenging a hierarchy. Because when those players don't defend, someone else has to. And that someone became Bellingham, running across the entire pitch, covering space for 2, sometimes 3 players. Pressing, recovering, attacking, tracking back, doing everything, until his performances dropped, until the goals slowed, until the narrative changed. Suddenly, he wasn't world-class. Suddenly, he was out of form. But nothing about his role had become easier. It had become impossible, because no player can sustain that workload forever, not even him. And while all of this is happening, something else is quietly building in the background, something even more dangerous than ego: neglect. Because while the stars demand freedom, the future is being ignored. Arda Güler arrives with expectations, talent, vision, intelligence, but instead of being integrated, he's sidelined. Minutes come in fragments. Confidence never builds. Rhythm never forms. And when he finally gets space elsewhere, he performs. Not because he suddenly improved, but because someone finally trusted him. The same pattern begins to form again. Endrick, one of the most exciting young forwards in the world. Energy, hunger, movement, everything Alonso's system needed. But in a team where stars don't sacrifice, there's no room for a player who will. Because effort doesn't sell like ego. And then there's Nico Paz, another talent, another opportunity, another player who finds clarity once he leaves the chaos behind. And that's when the pattern becomes undeniable. Young players don't fail at Real Madrid. They disappear because development requires something this team no longer has: patience, structure, trust, and most importantly, a system where everyone is equal. That system doesn't exist anymore. And here's where it all connects. Because while the youngsters are proving themselves elsewhere, The first team is collapsing under its own imbalance. Nearly half of Madrid's attacks flow down one side, the left, driven by Vinicius, supported by Mbappe. It looks like dominance. It looks like creativity. It looks like danger, but it's not control, it's dependency. Because when everything goes through the same channel, you become predictable. And when you're predictable, you're easier to stop. And when that happens, there's no fallback, no structure, no balance, no leadership to reset the system mid-game. Just frustration. And eventually, blame. That's the part no one wants to say out loud. Because at Real Madrid, blame rarely moves upward. It moves downward, to managers, to young players, to anyone without power, never to the structure itself. But it wasn't always like this. Under Zinedine Zidane, things looked different. Not because Zidane had better tactics, but because he had something this team has lost: control over egos. He convinced Ronaldo to sacrifice league games, to rest and stay fit, to prioritize the Champions League and more important game, and Ronaldo accepted. Think about that. One of the biggest egos in football history accepted a reduced role for the team. That doesn't happen without leadership, real leadership. And Zidane didn't carry that alone. He had Sergio Ramos, a presence, a voice, a player who could step into the dressing room and say what needed to be said. And he had Luka Modric, quiet, calm, but authoritative. A different kind of leader, the kind you feel without hearing. When those players faded, something went with them. Not just quality, not just experience, but accountability. And without accountability, freedom becomes dangerous. Because now, no one enforces the standard. No one resets the mentality. No one controls the dressing room. So when Alonso tried to reintroduce structure, he was doing it alone. No Ramos, no Modric at his peak, no internal discipline, just resistance. And when he made the boldest decision of all, everything broke. He benched a superstar, not fully fit, logical, professional, correct. But at Real Madrid, that's not how decisions work, because selection isn't just about performance. It's about status, expectation, power. And when those collide with discipline, discipline loses. So the dressing room pushed back, silently, gradually, then completely. And when the results dipped, the decision was already made. Not publicly, not officially, but internally. Because at this club, managers don't outlast players. They never have. And when the moment came, it was quick, predictable, almost routine. A loss, a speech, a dismissal. And just like that, the system reset. Not forward, backward. Because once Alonso was gone, something strange happened. The same ideas he introduced started reappearing. Structure, responsibility, leadership. But this time, they came from above, behind closed doors, not in public. Because admitting he was right would mean admitting the problem. And that problem hasn't been fixed. You can see it in the results, in the performances, in the absence of trophies. Not because the squad lacks talent, but because it lacks alignment, because talent without structure doesn't win. Ego without leadership doesn't sustain success. And a club that refuses to trust its future eventually runs out of present. And that's where Real Madrid are now. A team full of stars, but no system. A squad full of talent, but no balance. A club full of history, but repeating the same mistake, ignoring the players who would run, protecting the players who won't, and wondering why nothing works. Because until that changes, it doesn't matter who the manager is. It doesn't matter what system they try. It doesn't matter how much talent they sign. The outcome will always be the same. Moments of brilliance, followed by collapse. And the next generation? They'll keep proving themselves somewhere else, while Madrid keeps asking the same question: why aren't we winning anymore? They already know the answer. They just don't want to admit it.